Hey guys, welcome in. Hopefully, volume is a good quality. It's been a good minute since I've done a live. Dempsey, how's it going? Matt, how's it going? Ben, I see Ark is here as well. How's it going, guys? Well, today I've got some plans to do I guess I put it in the post yesterday of what you guys wanted to see, and it was either randomly generated D&D character or it was some D&D adventuring for Art Fight. So we've got the dice for this one. Donazar, welcome in, welcome in. Good to see you, good to see you. Nerd, welcome in. Hopefully you're all doing well. But yeah, so I thought this one would be a fun one because it's all like random challenge. It's just kind of like a fun draw for the most part. Um, and if you guys want to join in, you guys can definitely join in. You'll just need some dice to kind of roll, or you could use like a roll dice on Google, and it can roll one for you. I'm actually going to put on my face over here so you guys can see me. Welcome in. Welcome in, guys. All right. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to switch to kind of like the little sheet that I created for this. So there's a lot going on here, but we've got the species or race that we can create just by rolling a d20. We've got something special about races with the d12 that I thought would be fun. There's some other classes in D&D, such as like being like almost a vampire, which is a Dhampir, or Lupin, which is like almost like werewolf, that I thought would be really interested and that would be really interesting to put in as choices, or a reborn, like someone that just came back from the dead. I've got your basic 12 classes. I decided not to go for like the artificer or artifice, or however you want to say it, or like gunslinger class or blood hunter. I just figured we just keep it kind of basic. We've got weapons that your character would have, or could possibly use. We've got different armor types. We've got alignment. We've got a casting focus in case we end up with like a caster of some sort. And we've also got like a wild card thing that I thought would be interesting and fun. And then, of course, we'll have a legend score. We'll roll a D100 to kind of see where our character actually falls in on this. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to shift gears over here so that you guys can kind of see my dice tray. It's the exact same dice tray that my little lizard boy Lucidius is using in the thumbnail for today's video. But yeah, let's see. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything on the comments. Do, 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 do. Please bear with us as lost as D20 dice will be with us shortly. Oh no, something must have happened, huh? I don't know. Did we drop frames? Ooh, maybe we did. All right. Okay. I'm thinking we're back. Maybe, possibly. Could you guys let me know in the chat if we're back on? Just out of curiosity. For some reason, I've got like I think a poor signal on my end. Everything seems fine. All right, cool, cool, cool. I just wanted to make sure. I just wasn't sure. Interesting, interesting. It might just be me again. It's been a minute since I've done a live, so it could just be my settings. For all I know. All right, cool, cool. So let's go ahead. Let's jump in on this. We'll start off with the species of our character that we're about to draw with. Or create, I guess. And in this case, we're gonna roll this and see what we get. All right. So I got a 12. So for me, I'll be drawing a Goliath. So if you've seen my voices from the Whelm, voices from the realm, then you would know like Bo Braxton is my Goliath character. I'm just gonna put all the things that I end up with just on another sheet so that I can just keep track of all the rolls that I've got. But I'll let you guys go ahead and roll if you guys are rolling on your side. All right, cool. So after that, we're going to see if there's anything special or unique about this particular Goliath character that I've got. So I'm going to roll a d12 to kind of see what happens there. But also feel free, let me know what you guys rolled if you are rolling alongside me to create art together. And I got a 7, which means my character is a Goliath, but he's also a shifter, which means some bestial kind of like fangs and claws and things like that I can incorporate into the drawing, which I think is going to be fun. Um, so I'm going to go ahead and make sure I add that right over here. All right, cool. We got a 17. 2 seconds. I've got Dempsey messaging me. Let's see. 2 seconds, guys. I'm just going to remove my face here for a moment. All right, cool. Sorry about that. All right, sweet. I have a Goliath that's going to be a shifter, so some little claws, fangs, things like that that I'm going to also incorporate onto that one. So that's kind of cool. There are like if you end up on an even number, you end up with nothing special about your character. It's just like very basic. But yeah, but it looks like Ark got a 17. Ark has got apparently I don't have a 17 on my list. That's terrible. That's my fault. 100%. I am so sorry. I didn't even realize this when I was double checking this. But yeah, let me give you something over here. First, I'm going to have to open up the actual file of this one. So 2 seconds. Let me just shove this over here. Hey, look, it's a live stream. Things were bound to happen, guys. So let's see here. I think I've got the actual sheet right over here. So let's open that one up, which you guys won't notice a difference, but I'll actually be able to write on this. So yeah, apparently I'm missing one on here. My bad. 17. Let's give you. So what do we have? We have human, elf, dwarf. We have halfling, gnome, dragonborn, tiefling, warforged, orc, Asimar, genasi, which could be any genasi of your choice. Goliath, furbolg, tabaxi, turtle, githyanki. We got kobold. We've got goblin. We've got leonin. Let's go. Actually, you know what? I think let's go Kenku. This way we could put in like some sort of bird, or I could have put like an Aarakocra or an owl in or something there. But let's just go ahead and put that in that particular spot. I think that'll be fine. So apologies, apologies. Yeah, I noticed. Okay, awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, so we've got that. I'm gonna hide my camera momentarily, the one that's on top, so that you guys can see the classes. So for classes, we're gonna roll a d12. So here we go. I'm gonna roll a d12 for that one. Lady Luck on my side, maybe. I got an 8. So for my dice roll, I'll end up with a Ranger, is what I've got for mine. Let me just save this one up real quick, and then I'm also going to close one out. I'm not going to save that one. And then I'm going to save my duplicate real quick. That's the one. Perfect, perfect. And then let's reopen up. Bam. That one. So this way I don't have to mess around with the sheet at all. I can just ooh, sorry, open the wrong one. My bad. Try that again. That's the one. That's the JPEG. Perfect. So now I should be able to grab the Ranger over here. Oops, just Ranger. Bam. I'm actually what am I? I'm actually playing a Gloomstalk Ranger for one of the campaigns that I do on Sundays as a player, which has been a lot of fun. So it's a little bit more of a gritty type, which is kind of cool. So let me put in a Ranger Goliath Shifter right there. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Let's see. Welcome in, Ven. Hopefully you're doing well. Let's see. Just woke up. Hey, no worries, no worries. Totally get it. You got a okay, so you got a 4 on your D12, so you ended up with nothing special. No worries, no worries. It's not true D&D experience without some shenanigans. 100%. If I did our luck roll today, it would have been probably pretty low or mediocre. Galahound, welcome in. Not much. I'm starting to roll for my character. A couple other artists in here are doing the same thing. So you just miss species, race, and class, along with some technical difficulties on my side, but not too bad. All right, so after this, I'm actually going to go skip down to the orange section. I'm going to go to alignment because I really want to know, in particular, how my particular character's alignment is, whether they're chaotic, whether they're lawful or not. So that's a D6. I got this cool, like, little double green, like a green and yellow kind of die. So let's see. So for alignment, mine's just neutral. He's kind of just in the middle. So not great, but not super interesting either, but mine's neutral. Sorry, I kept that. Should have kept the camera on for that one. My bad. There it is. There's the three that I ended up rolling. But yeah, that was my character's alignment. So I'm gonna add alignment on here. So I am a neutral Goliath shifter ranger, is what I've got so far. All right, cool, cool. Now I'm interested in the weapon. So for the weapon, we'll need a D20 for that. So let's go ahead. Let's shift over to the dice tray. So D20, like this purple dice. Number one, nat one, gives my character a long sword for that one. So I'm going to move this camera out of the way so you guys can see what kind of weapons are on the list that you could possibly use for your roles. But yeah, let's see. Got a 3 for class. Awesome, 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 awesome. Where did I find the character sheet? I just made this sheet myself, personally. Yeah, yeah, I made it myself. There you go, there you go. Awesome. All right, so what I say? Longsword for my character. I didn't even copy it. My bad. Let's copy that. Longsword. That one's gonna be pretty interesting. Ranger and a longsword. And as a Goliath, I can only imagine, like, is this going to be a really tiny sword? Like a regular short sword inside of his hands? I guess that could be the funny humor with this one. Next up is a D4. This will determine your character's armor. So let's go ahead and roll that D4. I got this orangey yellow one right over here. I rolled a 2 on my dice. So 2 gives this is interesting. Gives him a chain shirt. This one might not be the best stealthy ranger at all, but I guess as a Goliath, I probably don't want him to be too stealthy. Although that would be hilarious. Oh, you got a nat 20 for the race, Leonin. Yeah, that was the one that I was hoping for. Very good, very good. Normal sword for Goliath is right, absolutely. All right, cool, cool. Yeah, the chain shirt, I don't know how I feel about it, but interlocking stuff, uh, not gonna be fun to draw. But that's part of this randomness is that we have to draw what the dice tell us. It's destiny, right? But yeah, so that was armor. I am a ranger, so he's technically like a half caster of sorts, which means he does get magic. So let's give him a casting focus. But if you ended up with some sort of class that doesn't generally use magic, you can completely skip the D8 section of this sheet. So let me go ahead and put that camera back up, and let me roll that D8. So let's get that guy out. Roll the D8. My D8's a little cool, like strawberry shortcake pink dice. That's a 3 on the dice. I'll remove that. So it looks like my arcane focus on my D8 is a spell book, which is very strange because he's not a wizard. But you know what? Doesn't have to make sense, especially for a series like this. Definitely doesn't need to make sense. All right, so these are so far all the things that I have rolled as of this moment. All right, cool, cool. Let's see. Um, Izzy, welcome in. Hopefully you're doing really well. Don't worry about being late. Literally just started, had some tech issues, but we're all good. We're back. It's a toothpick for him, Dempsey. Absolutely. I think that's what the sword's going to be. It's no longer a long sword. I might even just exaggerate his size to almost be like legit giant. I think that might be even funnier. Um, are you excited about the new Spider-Man movie? Yeah, yeah, I actually am. I really love it. Spider-Man's one of like the better movies, I think, on the Marvel side. But I've also read so many comics as I was growing up, so that's probably my why. Can't draw this right now. No worries. You got a Tiefling Hexblood. Oh man, that is awesome. And you got the pet slime. That's where I was gonna go next. So we have a wild card. And as Nerd said, there is some fun shenanigans stuff, such as having a pet slime. So that one's also gonna be a D10. So I'm going to just go ahead. Let me just quickly put on that camera back again. My D10 is this cool like little glitter dice where when you hit it, it like kind of shines. I don't know if it'll come off on camera, but does pretty well. That one is a 7. So it looks like my character, which I guess for a ranger makes a lot of sense. Maybe this is like familiars, but he's going to be followed by ravens. I actually kind of like that one for this kind of character, I think. So he's going to be followed by ravens. Awesome. Very cool. Very cool. Oh, cool. Matt's drawing reincarnated as a slime fan art. Very nice, very nice. I think there's also another like season that just came out about it recently, which is kind of cool. And then my favorite part of this entire thing, I think, is going to be this yellow section. This is your legend score to find out how much of a legend your character's actually going to be in this world. It goes from unknown traveler all the way down to true legend. So if you've never rolled a D100, there's a couple different options for you. Um, you can roll like an actual big dice that has 100, like a sphere, or you can roll two d10s. I have a Lord of the Rings one over here that I thought would be kind of cool. So that one has like 10, 20s, 30s, 40s, while my other d10, obviously the one that I just rolled, has like 1 through 0 or 1 through 10. But yeah, so we're going to drop both and we're going to just calculate. So unfortunately, I can't go to 500, so it means I have a 5. So my character is going to be an unknown traveler. Uh, kind of sad, kind of sad. He's unknown. No one knows him. Maybe he's at the beginning of his journey. But that's just what the dice told me about mine. So I'm just going to kind of keep that there. I'm going to give you guys a moment to kind of figure out which ones you guys have. If you're rolling, I'll just remove that camera real quick. Give you guys a second as I start to think as to what this is going to look like. Did I submit a Spider Sona for Popcross? No, I did not. No. Definitely no time with Art Fight, and then having ideas such as this working in the background so that I could start working on like permanent series that I want to build on this channel. I've got a lot of like world building stuff that I want to do, trying to figure out how to get that to the people, whether it's a short format, which Honestly, with attention spans nowadays, it's probably the better choice. But I really like long form format, so that's probably where I'll end up going. And then maybe just take snippets of those videos and post them as reels or something and lead people back. I think that's what it is. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's see, let's see. Very cool, very cool. Right now, you're scheduling art fight time lapses. Yeah, nice, nice, Donazar. Very cool. Ben says would be interesting to see whatever this character is going to encounter the other D&D characters. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It'd be interesting to kind of see how this one works. Cursed object for Arc. Oh, very nice, very nice. That one would be fun. Like if I had the cursed object or the cursed item, I would just make it that toothpick sword that my Goliath would have had. I think that would have been the best bet for it. Take a screenshot. Feel free. Feel free. I'm actually gonna create a new server because I'm no longer drawing with Mr. S anymore. It's changed to the drawing DM. So I am in the process of making a new server where you guys can drop your art that you create from these live streams. Hopefully, I can live stream a little bit more often than not. I've also got some potential ideas going on for voices for the realm where if you guys have your own D&D characters and you want to do a little voice acting, I would just have you be the star of the episodes that go out. They're like 5 minutes long. You just voice your character, talk about your backstory in character, talk about maybe an adventure you went on, keep it to about 5 minutes, and then I'll just literally be the narrating voice that walks your character through the Wandering Wyvern Tavern. I think that's a pretty good idea to get more community members involved. Could also be scary too. Who knows? Oh, let's see. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Please, please. Yeah, yeah. Please. Credit back. That works for me. But yeah. Let's see. Am I missing anything? Want to make sure I'm not missing anybody. Yeah, don't worry if you can't. Yeah, yeah, write it down. It's so good if you don't draw it out yet. But it does look like Arc. You're a living myth. I love it. All right, so I think that's cool. I'm going to go ahead. Let me just save this and close this if you guys are okay with that. I'm gonna get rid of that sheet. This is the sheet that I'll be drawing on. So these are the options. I am gonna merge all of these layers together. Just as a quick recap, I've got a Goliath shifter ranger who happens to be in neutral alignment, so he can go. He's not really swayed one way or the other. It's not even whether he's lawful or not. It has nothing to do with him being evil, chaotic. Like none of that's there. He's just plain Jane. We got a longsword that might not look like a longsword in his hands. We've got a chain shirt, so he's definitely not the stealthy type, which makes sense. With his longsword, he's got a spell book to cast spells, even though he's not a wizard. Crazy enough. Maybe it's a multi-class, but it is what it is. And then he's followed by ravens, and he is an unknown traveler. So I think that means it's time for us to just start planning out what this is going to look like. Let's see. Okay, cool, cool. So I'm looking at Donazor's post about what they're going to be doing after Art Fight. That'd be fun. It's going to be good. Ben, so that tavern's the only location in the D&D world? No, so the Wandering Wyvern Tavern is my own tavern. It actually teleports and transports throughout different planes of existences. So it's a tavern that wanders as well. So that's why we get so many different characters on there, which I think would work out really nicely. How can you draw Kenku as a living myth? I don't know. That's just his reputation. He's just a living myth. Imagine how awesome that would look, though. It's just how well known. Yep, absolutely. But I mean, if you are unknown, maybe it's just like there's a good reason. You're just starting out level one, on your adventure. Uh, are we serious? Yeah. Oh, we got a war pick. Very cool, very cool. Lawful good ASMR, reborn monk wielding a war pick. It's actually kind of cool. Who happens to be a noble insanity? Let's see. Favorite isekai? Reincarnated as a slime is yours. I don't know. There's a whole bunch of them that I'm a big fan of. Um, at the moment. I thought one of the ones that was really niche that I was interested in was the one where the guy got reborn. He's like a Super Sentai. He's like a Power Ranger. in a different world, which I thought was kind of cool. Let's see. Oh yeah, this would be my second Goliath, which might need a story of some sort. I might leave the story up to you guys. I'm not sure if I have a story for it. I had no idea. The according to Galahound about the DC Suicide Squad got their own isekai. I had no idea. That sounds crazy. Uh, but yeah, so let's start coming up with some ideas. I think I'm just gonna scribble down some stuff and then just kind of go from there. Literal scribbles. This is something that I do in my like sketchbook with like pen, and I feel like I can kind of create kind of some sort of a mode or whatever. I'm thinking he might be because I've already drawn Goliaths before. I've drawn Bo on here already, so I already have an idea of like size and stuff like that. Um, but I think what I might do is just make him like really, really ginormous, and just kind of go from there. So this is just some scribbling until I kind of figure out what direction I want to go with. So I'll do a bunch of these before I actually settle down. Or in one of the videos that I did, I started using like it was like a paintbrush, and then I just started like just dropping it all over the place and just kind of seeing what happened with it. Like where's my O block brush? Like this one I use for doing landscapes and stuff, which I think would be kind of cool. Let's see. So maybe I want some sort of like maybe line of action of some sort. I don't know. It could be like a regular like C shape. You know what? Let's make it a C shape. Okay, I kind of have an idea now. Once I saw that, use regular lasso. I'm thinking uh, this could be if this is quote unquote line of action. I'm thinking on top of this, I'll just draw this on top. I'm thinking he could be really really big, kind of like dropping down his sword. Maybe he's got it. Ooh, you know what? Maybe this is actually the swing of his arm. Maybe this is the swing of his arm. And so this would be maybe to elbow. Maybe this would be interesting. And maybe I could change the perspective a little bit, manipulate it so that I can kind of see where it's going. So maybe he's just swinging it down. Maybe he's got that sword in hand, or that toothpick, as you guys called it, in hand for this Goliath. So it's not going to be as long as a regular longsword, which is, again, hilarious. Let me give him like a. Ooh, he might need like an interesting pommel. Like maybe we'll just put in like some sort of gemstone inside of there. Let's see. Do, do, do. We'll work on something for that hilt in a little bit. This is just me scribbling. Or would a longsword in a Goliath's hand actually be like a massive like gargantuan sword? Be a good question to ask. Rangers normally wear hoods, don't they? Or is that just rogues? I mean, it's up to how you design your character, right? So your ranger could have a hood, doesn't have to. The one that I play on my Sunday campaigns, he doesn't wear a hood necessarily. He's normally just like strapped in leather armor. He carries a longbow that he does most of his fighting with, or he dual wields swords. Although right now in our campaign, he's now got a frost blade and a flame blade that can go together and become a spear of some sort, which is kind of unique. So my DM for that group, he does pretty well at just like imagining like video game-esque weapons that he wants to throw in there. Would be interesting to see more D&D classes in the D&D world. There are a bunch of like homebrew stuff that I think are really cool. Like warlords, which are like those are like more old school in the sense of like old advanced D&D, like AD&D, if that makes sense. And there's some other ones in there that people like to use. I again, I thought about dropping in a couple in here, like a gunslinger. I think a gunslinger would be cool. It's got that old western vibe to it. So you think like an old duster jacket, cowboy hat, just guns and stuff. I thought it was be pretty nice. So they got like things like that. And then of course you can build anything around anything. Like I personally would like to see a dog person, like some dog humanoid, because they already got cats. They've already got tabaxis. So why not? I think a dog would be pretty interesting. Could struggle pulling a sword out of a stone. Oh, you know what? That's not bad either. I'm not married to this idea that I've got here either. So let's see what that might look like. So uh, let's do that. So stone. Let's make so King Arthur-esque stone, right? Uh, let's say it's like this, and then we'll render that out later on. So sword in the stone. It's not a bad concept. And then let's just give it a nice little funky looking kind of shape. Give it like this. Actually, no, no, that'd be too much clericy, I think. Let's do it this way. There we go. Feel like that's less. And then, of course, I'll use a symmetry ruler later um, to do that. So let's do something along these lines. I think I'll bring it backwards. So pull it up, round that, bring it that way. Something along these lines, where it looks a little wonky, little weird, legendary sword of sorts, for this unknown traveler that no one knows about. His renown doesn't exist, so he can't like persuade people with any advantage. Everything's done at disadvantage, I think, for this guy. So something, and then just give him a pommel with like a stone or something in it. And then who knows? Maybe I can actually make this sharper. Might be interesting. Shrink that down. And then big boy. Do we think he's trying to lift this with like one hand or two hands? These are the questions I've got. And then because it's a long sword, there should be like playing Baldur's Gate. They have like that extra segmented section on it. Um, so maybe something in here to make it look like it's longer than what it actually is. I think that might be kind of neat or interesting. So we'll check that out. Let's see. Oh, it would be interesting. Yeah, Smogist. It would have been pretty cool. I didn't think about it in time. Um, like I have other plans for August, but Smogist would have been good. And if I decide to push back the other ideas I've got, maybe I will. Maybe I'll try it. D&D Todoroki. Yeah, but it's really weird because the character's supposed to be like this grim, dark kind of atmosphere who loves to hide in the shadows and attack. He's essentially like, without having a rogue class, he's essentially a ranger rogue. Is kind of the build I'm going for, but first I'm trying to hit level 5 so I can have two attacks and then maybe stack on the rogue part so I can get some sneak attack. Blade of Frost and Flame. Tabaxis and Nalanos are overrated. Become God. No, I don't know. I don't know. The Leonins are really dope. I don't know. I think about like because they're part of the Greek mythology book essentially. It starts with an O. It's not Odyssey. I can't remember the book's name. But yeah, that's where they came from originally. But yeah, let's see. Am I missing anything else? Character chop the head off of a goblin. That might be interesting. Dark, but I like it. Let's see. Struggling for sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know how if I like the term edge lord. Uh, it's got different connotations, I guess. Let's see. I'm gonna make him really, really beefy, I think. Although I will put this way. I don't think I can make a guy as beefy as Ven does. Ven's got like the anatomy down for muscular characters. Down, like hands down, some of the best I've seen. So I can't be on that level of musculitude, but I will get some musculature in here that I think will work or at least work out just fine. Again, this is supposed to just be like a fun little thing. I had some time where I'm like, I got school coming up, so I got like work coming back up, like regular work, versus like my over the summer jobs, um, which is not to say much, but it's like I'll be way focused on lesson planning and some other stuff soon, so that's gonna be annoying. Let's see. I feel like this foot. Let's have him try to like put like leverage on this rock. So I might have to drop the rock a little bit lower. So I might move this down here. Again, long sword, right? Or an amazing sword, or giant sword of sorts. Uh, yeah. Daggerheart's great. Good game. I've wanted to play. They have it at my local game store where I play D&D. And they just ended up with a new release of something or other. I can't remember what it was, but they are starting to do some Daggerheart at my game store nearby. Yeah. Likely stick to dragons? No, 100%. Um, because I don't have too many dragons on here. the only dragon I have is the one that I made for art fight for one of those attacks. You know what? Let's move this sword. Sword's gotta move out of the way for a second so I can see where this leg is going. Or I should have just put on a different layer. That's okay. Let's do kneecap here. Bulky thighs muscles coming over here. Big old calf over here. All right, here we go. Here we go. We are getting closer to it. Again, I should have probably put this all on separate layers, but this is just my sketch. Bam. And then we could have like his boot right over here. So if I had to reimagine this, this is, I guess, where the heel would go. Bum, bum, bum. This would be more angled downward? Something like this. Yeah. Bam. And of course, the rock's going to be in the way, but I just want to make sure I've got this part in here. And just to clean it up, this is the bottom of the boot, or close to the bottom of the boot. Probably wears like size 20s. Big Goliath boy. All right, something like this. I will refix all the perspective and stuff after. I just want to get all the ideas out. So bootleg right over here. Yeah, something like that might actually feel better. Move most of this rock over here. Draw a rest of rock so that it overlaps. Should have had like some references, but I mean, there's no way for me to know what it was gonna be, I guess. Let's see. Am I missing anybody on the chat? I just want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Sword of Doom and Despair over here. Let's see. This. I feel. Not that it'd be smaller. I feel like he'd be squished in more. Hmm. Or it could just be this angle over here. Let's get rid of that. And then let's stretch out this leg more. So stretch it out to here. I'm trying to like imagine like he's trying to pull at this thing. He's got long legs, big guy. Wasn't intentional. Wasn't intentional. I promise. For anyone looking at this, like really hardcore and dissecting it. There we go. Maybe something like that. And then this side can become a little bit bigger and bent over. There we go. I think this would make more sense. And then we could have like his other leg come from down here. I think just maybe he's also trying to like pull at it. So maybe this leg's actually coming forward. Give him a knee or something over here. And then his foot could, I guess you try to be like gripping hard against the ground. I don't know. Something like that I feel like would be the area where he would be just like really gripping and then pushing it. If that makes sense. Izzy's asking if I use the same app every time I draw. Yeah, so this is Clip Studio Paint. It's probably my preferred go-to software, personally. Although, and it's because like you could do like manga art and some other types of art in here. You could do animations. They got 3D modeling. They got a lot in here. Um, the other the other program or other software I would like is probably like Procreate because I got that on like my iPad, and whatnot. Like I feel like that's a good like those are two really good ones. I've tried Krita before. I've tried Sketchbook before back in the day before when it was Autodesk Sketchbook. Um, I've tried Ibis Paint, but I feel like I get a better feel in this particular program. Is just by feel alone for me. Everyone has like a different way of choosing their programs. CSP is best in the game. Yeah, it's my favorite. Using Ibis, and Ibis is not bad. I don't know if you pay for it or not, but even as a free software, really good. Because you got Krita that's free, but I feel like I struggled trying to use that. It didn't feel as natural to me. I don't know why. Ben's proud of the attack they did for like on day one of Art Fight. Yeah, I'm working on a mass attack right now. I think it has like 7 characters in it. Just an adventuring party, just sitting down as if they were like in a moment, like taking a photo without the photo. You know what I mean? But yeah. Matt used to draw in Photoshop. I could never afford Photoshop, so I never tried it, and then never had it at like the school that I worked at, or the school that I attended when I was younger, when things were like starting off with digital art. So I never attempted. Let's see. I am gonna probably bring this more flat. There we go. We're getting there. He's getting built. And I don't know exactly what the boots are going to look like. But just get like some generic boot shape design here. And then we'll kind of figure that out. I do know we have a chain shirt, but that doesn't mean he's technically um like, got like armor all over, right? So just having a chain shirt's more or less like Frodo with his like little chain shirt. But he didn't wear all armor. So necessarily. Uh, but yeah, so that's kind of where my thoughts are for at least what I'm going to do for that part. All right, I'm going to fix up that leg in a bit. I feel like this is just ah. I feel like this is a little bit of a mess. So let's just shrink and twist. There we go, and then we'll fix that later. And then we'll have his arms pulling across. So this arm, I feel like actually, you know what? His shoulder would be more forward, right? So let's make his shoulder forward. Bam, we'd have one arm over here coming across, right? Because then the action would be trying to pull it up that way. Ark's talking about Pinterest. I love Pinterest for like references, but sometimes it just stops working, and then there's a lot of AI stuff in there. So then it's like it's hard to like find something that I can like study from. Not that you can't study necessarily. Here's hot button from AI art. Uh, my issue with AI is just like obviously it steals from artists, right? To learn its craft, if that makes sense. I know all you guys probably in this similar situation. It's fine for like I guess other things. I don't know. It's like, hey, can you help me set up a workout plan? Chat GPT, and they'll be like, yeah, let's do it. Sure, why not? But I don't know. I don't like to go to AI for art related things. It makes me feel terrible. Like when my school made me do some AI art stuff for our school. I wasn't a big fan. I had to do it because it was my job, but didn't like it. Is he's asking, do I have my Strong Duck shirt? I still do. I can't say that it still fits me, but I still have it. Kind of shrunk in the dryer a little bit. Let's see. The Ibis is getting greedy. Yeah, I figured. Of course, they're gonna charge some premium stuff for their stuff. Like for Clip Studio Paint, I bought it outright for like version 4, before they just started doing like their subscription based stuff. But I don't even know what the subscription is monthly. I don't think it's that much, but I could be wrong. Imagine Ben's like seriously. Imagine this one being the distant cousin of Bo Braxton. Yeah, you know what? That'd be interesting because Bo would be very country, and this guy would definitely not be. Let's see. You're set on life with Ibis. Yeah, take it, take it. Oh, you could. I had no idea you could disable AI in Pinterest. Now I'm gonna have to go in and see if there's like a settings for that. Thank you for that, Ben. Had no idea. You trust AI as far as you can throw it. Yeah, but it still doesn't like. I mean, granted, it's maybe not AI, but it won't stop me from using like a generated, like a generator of some sort to be like, all right, what should I draw? And then just go to the generator and just keep clicking next until I find something that I want to draw. Uh, Oh yeah. Our school does like a lot of like Canva and Adobe Express that uses AI. But I mean, I'm also dealing with third through fifth graders, so they really are introducing it to a young group as a conceptual tool for processes or angles. Yeah, no, it makes sense. It's like any reference, right? So it can't be bad. But yeah, your job uses it. I totally agree. Reference ideas, yeah, which is no different than finding an artist that you would reference from Arc. So you're right. A necromancer would be fun. $10 a month for 2 devices, EX full version. All right, cool. I don't see and $10 doesn't even sound bad. Honestly, it don't sound bad. All right, let's see. Let's do the rest of this. I do have like a planned AI video for the future. Not obviously me using AI art to do my art because that would suck. I would never do that. But I would totally use it to give me possibly like a description or something. I could also find a generator that does the same thing. Hey, just grab a D&D character, and then I would just try to attempt to draw it to the best of my ability. I remember when I think Jazza used to do like a AI versus artist, or there was like a whole trend back when. I thought about possibly doing something like that, but more like generator based versus artificial intelligence that'll hopefully, that would like legit like memorize all the things that I put into it. Because that'd be like kind of creepy. Might be interesting. Can I do a FNAF video? If there's a way for me to relate it to D&D in some way, shape, or form, I probably would. Like reimagine FNAF characters as if they were, and then put them as something or other, or like FNAF monsters. I do have like an idea for a certain type of like build for things like that deals with like pop culture stuff, just in case I decide to go back to some of it. Ethical to steal design, I do, yeah. Is it ethical? Who knows? Yeah, it's a hard ground to play on. Yeah, but everyone is using it before knowing the harm. Yeah, because then that's people's jobs as well. Ben says, yeah, Popcross used AI to describe dragons and demons. Okay, yeah. Most of the internet has more bots than humans. Yeah, I knew I was going to touch on a touchy subject here. Uh, legal, at least in the U.S., not subject to copyright. Yeah, I did find out one of the songs that I really enjoyed from Pixabay. Like, you might hear some music playing in some of my videos or whatever. I did find out like the ones that I was really about was actually AI generated. And then my wife found a group on a Spotify playlist that she really loved, and it turned out they were AI generated as well. Really crazy stuff. FNAF characters, causing D&Ds, mechanical monsters are classified as constructs. Yeah, no, it makes sense. So make new constructs. No, it makes sense. You could even reimagine them as Warforged characters as well, as if they were going on an adventure. Wouldn't be bad. But I do think those are like great ideas. Um, but yeah. Sorry, I always stop drawing whenever I'm like really interested in what's happening in chat, so I apologize. Usually it takes me longer on a live stream to get a piece of artwork done. My fault. Let's see. Some sort of arm. I will completely fix that because it looks like trash right now. In a little bit. And then we'll have other arm maybe over here. Thumb this way. I won't see the other thumb. And then I will tilt this just a bit. Again, this is just like my first pass. I usually don't stick with my first sketches, like the first pass through for these. I don't think most of us do either, unless you really hit it on all cylinders right away. I guess then I guess you're really invincible. I guess you're great. Fantasy medieval inspired FNAF like restaurant and animatronics for fun. That sounds cool. That sounds cool. Destroy the clankers. Warforged possessed with the souls of murdered children. Perhaps the BBG's the man behind the slaughter. That would be, you know what? Yes, let's do it. Uh, you're probably not wrong. Like that. That does sound like, yeah, you thought you were the good guy, but I mean, you're the bad guy, and then it leads you back to like the whole if you watch like Avengers with like Thanos and you're like as an adult you're like I kind of agree with the population control as Thanos, he's not that wrong, and then you're like oh no, morally gray area again. But yeah, kind of like those theories about COVID being a population control mechanism, because it got rid of well, not that it got rid of, but a lot of older folks passed to it. So who knows? Depends what you believe in. Oh my God, he said the line. Let's see. Like how big would like literally like sword hilts and stuff in a Goliath's hands? I think this is my problem is I'm trying to imagine this here. Like what's it gonna look like? We joked around about toothpicks, but I feel like if this is gonna be a big massive blade to be wielded, a Goliath would be like the perfect one to like wield a massive, ginormous blade of sorts. I just wouldn't call it a long sword. I don't know what I would call it, but that's what this guy's gonna have, I think. Miscalculated the amount of people in the world. I can imagine that. Have you thought about using a role for Hero Handbook created by Mr. Fish Comics and Esteban? Uncle E? No, I haven't. That's kind of why I made my own. Let's see. We're more or less than 8 billion. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I feel like it would just be regular size. So how hunched over would he be? Or do I need to scrap this idea? I think maybe scrapping the idea would be the best bet. I'm not entirely sure how I'm feeling about it, especially if it's like that. Unless he is humor, I guess let's go humor based. If he is going to be uh really, let's do this. Let's severely hunch him over. Like, oh, I guess I did that somewhere else. Sorry, my bad. Let's try that again. Uh, Unless he's like this is one of those like insane post challenges. What happens if he's like this? And he is literally bent over backwards trying to get this little tiny sword out of a rock. I think that screams extra funny. Let's just do silly art. Pretend it's Drawfee, right? Something that's not gonna ever make sense. Right here. And then let's make this rock much bigger. So I'll just maybe place the rock around here. See, this is what I like about you guys in chat. You guys influence my drawings. I think we've done several that have come out really great in the past because all I do is just start thinking out loud, and then I have you guys as well to like bounce ideas off of. No, that'd be awesome. I would love to collab with Uncle E and Mr. Fish. I guess I would just have to just reach out. No harm in asking, right? Let's see. If that's okay, so this is where I'm trying to imagine the whole body like this. We're just gonna we're gonna scrap the seriousness of this moment for my unknown Goliath. Let's see. This poor guy. This is why he's unknown. He's still in this cave to this day, trying to pull out the longest short sword in the world. That might be what it is. What happens if he does? You know, that's what I'm saying. So if he doesn't pull this thing, yeah, he's gonna have like a long sword with a rock at the end. Then I think that's his weapon. It just becomes a long club instead of a great club, and it has like slashing plus bludgeoning damage added to it. Yeah, no, for sure. On one of the drawings, can you draw a secret mini froggy? A mini frog would be interesting. Here, I think because he is followed by ravens, I will turn the froggy into a raveny, if that makes sense. I don't know. Might make sense. Bendy the Ink Machine characters into D&D characters. What happens if he's a corpse? That would be interesting too. Yes, I think that would be interesting. Yeah, let's see. I'm gonna get rid of that part. Versatile. Here's the actual length of the sword. I'm going to. This is longsword, by the way. I think that's what we're focusing on here. Is longsword being a regular size sword next to a Goliath. So something like this. And the only reason I keep adding this pommel is because it gives him another like spot to hopefully grab from. Because he needs something in here to keep this interesting. And then let's just change the hilt so that um, we could put like a diamond shape or something in here to make it also more interesting to look at. But yeah, Tiefling, Hexblood, Lawful, good. Once I get to Hexblood and I get to Tiefling and then we're like Lawful, good, it throws me off. Druid with a chain shirt, daggers, dual daggers, baby, spellbook. Oh yeah, that's right, I gotta add my spellbook. Pet slime also happens to be a local hero. I like that. 5% sword, 95% rock. Absolutely. You know what? Fine, nerd. You talked me into it. Raven with a frog writing on it. We're doing it. We're doing that. So Izzy, you got it. You got your froggy. Sounds similar to Excalibur, Puss in Boots. Yeah, that's the whole. That was the whole point, I think. Instead of a chicken jockey, it's a frog jockey. No, I think that'd be kind of cool. Let's see. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, cool. Okay, so he's leaned over. He's got maybe one hand. Oh, you know what? Oh, okay. Settling on idea here. I won't tell you what it is. I'm just gonna show you what it is, and let's see if this works. So we've got hand over here. That's my fake hand over here. Bam. Put a thumb over here. Uh, this is why it's a long sword. It's a long pommel, long hilt. There it goes. Put something here, here, and here. And he's going to grab it. Just gonna move all this stuff over here. Again, weird, abstract post challenge that I've now just for some reason added to myself, drawfee style. Um, but he is going to be reaching out with the other arm. So let's do this. And that'll be his hand over here. Do, do, do. Reaches out. Maybe he's reaching out for some help from these ravens that are following him. Maybe they've got a rope of some sort, and maybe they're pulling him. I know I said I wasn't going to tell you, but it's not going to make sense unless I tell you. Oops, sorry, hit the zoom button. There's the chest. There's this. Neck. This is going to be the weirdest drawing, and I don't think I ever would have thought about this one on my own. So thank you guys for the inspiration. Thank you for the heroic inspiration, if you will. Who doesn't love a true hero with an unconventional appearance? Do I go live on specific days or randomly? Honestly, this is super random. Last July during Art Fight, I was on most days, just working on art pieces. This summer, I've just been doing nothing but like summer art camps and D&D summer art camps. Like I've been like really full. So this is my last week before school begins again for me. So I took the week off of working essentially, my second job, um, so that I could live stream today. I'm also hopefully, well, because it's the whole week, I might hopefully keep live streaming this week, and we'll kind of see what happens. And if I could try to work it in my schedule to make it a little bit more regular, I think that would be perfect. But we'll kind of see. Yeah, I don't have a specific time, although I would like to do some stuff regularly. Like this would be one of the series that I feel like would be better live, um, personally, because I don't know if I would, because I feel like I wouldn't be able to essentially be as creative, I think, because I think it's as I talk to Chad over here, I feel like that's where I get most of the ideas that start coming to me. Versus if I'm by myself, chances are I'm probably going to be like listening to like some anime in the background or some music in the background or a movie that I've watched 1,000 times in the background. So I'm not like, I don't know. I just I don't get as creative, I guess, because my mind will also just keep watching what I'm watching or listen to what I'm listening. I don't know. But yeah, so just the answer is random. Take all the time you need. I don't know if I have all the time I need, but we'll see. I honestly do have some time. Um, like all my day classes, all my day camps done. I do have like night classes that I take. How many jobs do I have? Technically two. I'm an online digital art teacher, online D&D DM, and then I'm a regular school teacher. But we only work for like 10 months. So I work in an elementary school as a digital art teacher, and then uh, during the year, I still keep my digital art classes and I still keep some of those D&D things, while I also attend D&D at like certain game shops, and I also have my own group that I DM for, and then I also have a Sunday group that I play for. So not, I guess those aren't jobs; they're more hobbies. But I mean, a lot of my time's taken up because I kind of make it that way. And then occasionally, or at least it's what it's been for the past 3 years. I also coach, so part of a school running club, and I was working on a musical, like as not a designer or anything, but just helping out with like slideshow presentation pieces for the background as well. Um, there's a lot of stuff that I split myself around with, and then I was also DMing for physical students, and not just online students at the school that I work at. But yeah, two jobs, and then obviously husband could be a job on its own, and then whatever else. But yeah. So here is Goliath. Really big, maybe. Hard to tell. So Goliath. And I guess it'll just more or less come out, and I think that arm's like really terribly jacked. Let me open up his arm. I think it's because I have it backwards. It should really be open palm on this side. So arm. And then let's move this ring or this rope this way. And then we could say his fingers are closer to us. Yeah, I think this way would make more sense. This would be like the ah man, what is it? Well, you got like not Tobey Maguire. Was it Wolverine holding on? No, Captain America, Chris Evans holding on to like the plane or whatever, and he's like getting all jacked over here. Like that's kind of like this moment right over here, I think. This would be like such a heroic moment if people knew who he was, but he's a nobody. He is just an unknown traveler. And possibly at level 1 too. And if he is, then he's gonna break his arm, I think. Yeah. So yeah, let's move this stuff. Or delete the stuff and redraw it, probably. We're gonna roll one to try later. No, definitely try it. So Cobalt Paladin wielding a mace and in traveling clothes, no armor. That's not bad. You get free reign over traveling clothes. That also has a magical staff. Can walk with it. Has scars. Awesome. Neutral. Yeah. And it an adventure level. It you got. What was your legend score? I'm sorry. My eyes are like really dying out over here. Um, do I remember Krishna? No, not at all. Can't tell you that I do. I had 1,100 students. Uh, really difficult to know everybody. Dire Raven. Yeah, yeah. I was thinking the same thing. Because of the fact that he's a shifter, I thought about giving him some wings. Like just like little bits of feathers and not a necess and a little bit of a. I guess I could do a beak. I'm not entirely sure, but I thought more of like the eyes and maybe the patterns of the upper part of his head could be more raveny. So I was thinking about that. Yeah, I had to try with both arms. Oh, wasn't able to roll your legend. Okay, no worries, no worries. I could always send a copy of it. 29. If I had it in front of me, I'd let you know. I mean, I guess I could pop it open. That's not a big deal. So here, I'll pop it open for you. So legend score of 29 means you're an adventurer. You're fine. That's your legend score. You're known as an adventurer. I pulled the sword from the stone. Roll for strength, not one. Enjoy the rock maze. You're dead. Yeah, you can share it in one of the discords. I don't mind. That's not a big deal. Um, Definitely give credit, if anything. Hey, Rishit, welcome in. Summer break's going well. I can't complain. Although school starts for me next week, so I don't know. It could be a bad thing. I don't know. All right, probably not. I'm cool to go back and then get started on some lesson planning. Best part about my class is there is no curriculum, so I get to decide it, which means I get to help kids kind of at least learn some of the basics of drawing, which is kind of cool, but in a digital format, which is nice as well. So You have a lot to art to do before Friday, Dempsey. Yeah, I just need to make sure that I get this mass attack done. Maybe I'll show you guys a glimpse of it in a moment. So I gotta get the mass attack, and then I have to do the revenges. But I'm gonna do headshots for the revenges because I don't have a lot of time this week. Well, I guess I do have time, but I don't have a lot of time for art fight this week. Let's see. Teeth could function as a beak. Wait, what? Instead of teeth, is a beak? I guess so. Yeah, yeah. No problem, no problem. Seventh grade sounds like a burden. I guess it could be. I think middle school in general for most people is generally a bummer. No one usually enjoys their middle school time. Although I did enjoy being a middle school teacher. I don't know. I guess it's different. Because I made all the kids feel like they belonged and stuff. Because I remember how awkward uh, that stage of life could be. So let's see. What happens if this Goliath isn't strong? What happens if he doesn't have muscle? Because nowhere in the chart does it say I have to make a strong Goliath. Hmm. Different ideas coming around, guys, are as I start planning this out. And I'm trying not to like do such a terrible like little sketch over here because I know this arm's going to be important for later. So I'm trying not to just leave it scribbly like everything else. Like literally, this guy is all back and no legs because this he's actually very cartoony. I didn't even realize how this was looking until just now. But you know what? That's okay. That's all right. That might actually be hilarious just to keep him with a tiny body. Um, but yeah, so let's do. This will be essentially where the Raven goes. Hello, Raven. I'll even give you a little bit of hair over here. And then this is where the wings are gonna probably fly out from. Tail. And then I think we'll have, and I know this is a terrible Raven. I had to look up a reference to see what a Raven actually does look like. Um, but that'll just take a second on the side. And then I will just, for right now, because I know this is exactly what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to just put a few ravens because these are supposed to be following him, right? Uh, so maybe these are ravens that are going to be just here watching exactly what's like happening, or just like flying around him. I don't know. Maybe there's one on his shoulder. Yeah, you know what? Let's do that. So let's delete that one. Whoops, can't delete it all. Try that. And then let's just put a bird on his shoulder. Kind of like doing the whispering or whatever. Looks like a duck, I know. But again, I'll have to check it out after. I have no idea what it's going to look like. Hollow bones. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, so so it's usually so deadline's extended to August 2nd. Interesting, interesting. Let's see. Sketch is better than your finished drawings. I don't believe you. This sketch, I don't believe you. This is especially garbage. Uh, hey, Dave, how are you? Welcome in, welcome in. It's so chibi. Yeah, I was thinking about it. It's supposed to be a ginormous, like, giant dude, but then we talked about how a Goliath with a long sword, the sword would look like a regular sword or a short sword. That's what I've got here. But yeah. Oh, sorry about your broken arm, dude. Sorry about that. Let's see, let's see. Drawing sites. Are you talking about like what software I use? I use Clip Studio Paint to draw my stuff. So that's like the software I use. I do have an iPad. I'll use Procreate on the iPad though. Did I watch the World Cup? No. I do like soccer. I just not enough to watch the World Cup. But yeah, so bird over here, stuff like this. Okay, so we're kind of where we need to be with this and with time. Let's see. Shrink them back down just a tad. There we go. And as far as I guess what time the stream will end, I guess only time will tell because I really don't know. Um, and then I got to add in that little frog, and I think the frog would be kind of cool right over here. And I feel like the frog would be like maybe the frog would be like one of those like if you've ever seen like those squishmallow frogs or like even like in Pokemon they have like that one belly bolt. I feel like this would be the frog, and then just give him like big cheeks or something. I don't know, something like that. This would be my version of the frog. So this way I don't have to draw like all the little like features of it. This will be because I guess it's gonna fit whatever style this thing is gonna be, which is also not the best style, I guess. It's not my actual style. This is just me being silly. This is more like what I would put into like my sketchbooks. Just because I could just draw whatever nonsense that I wanted to. 0.06 at best. Yeah, yeah, it's not my best. Uh, 12 p.m. on the second, assuming it means PST time. See, I'm EST, so probably, maybe. Welcome in, welcome in. Let's see. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And yeah, again, guys, if you haven't left a like or anything for the stream and you're enjoying yourself, please leave a like. If you're new here, please subscribe. Definitely appreciate that. Am I gonna do Spider-Man? Am I going to Spider-Man Brand New Day? Yes, I would love to watch Spider-Man Brand New Day. I know it releases Friday, if I remember correctly. Although I don't have tickets, so who knows? Might have to wait. Although I would like to avoid spoilers, if at all possible. Wait. See, look, you know people I don't know, Donazar. So Deep Blue Ink. Now I'm gonna have to check. Oh, you sent it already. Okay, done deal. Let's check it. Oh, it's so cute. Yes, that's the one. Okay, I will draw that for the frog. Um, so yeah, okay. So we've got most of this perfect, disgusting sketch. I'm gonna just lower opacity. I am now going to go in, add a little bit more of a refined sketch over top before I do any like line work or anything like that. So this is more like trying to explore it. Once I get to line work, everything becomes tedious. So let's start off over here. Unless I do it in a painterly style, but then I'll be here for like 7 years, I think. But yeah. Hey, Nevea from school. Let's see. Okay, so if you see it, it'll be on Tuesday. Okay, cool, cool. It used to be like, yeah, it used to back in the day, I'd always go to like the matinee movies and just those would be like the first showings, cheap tickets. Just go in for like $5. Nowadays, it doesn't really exist for cheap, but it is what it is. Do I like horror movies? If you do, have you watched the Backrooms movie? I have not watched the Backrooms movie. Have not watched it. Doesn't mean that I won't. Um, just I haven't watched it. But usually when I watch horror, I'm usually like my wife and I are usually watching it together because she's a big horror fan. I like horror. I don't know. I don't generally sit down to watch a movie unless I'm like, yeah, let's do it. But she'll find all these weird ones out there, and I'm like, whoa, this is good, good stuff. Animation using audio from Drawfee. Oh, really? Okay, cool. Very cool. Very cool. Had no idea. See, I wish I had like a subscription to Dropout.tv because I'd be listening to Dimension 20. Yeah. But I don't. Let's see. It's funny that three Pop Cross redraws have been on movies coming out. That's strategically done. Because you know, like people are going to be looking up stuff for the movies, so most likely for his stuff to pop up. Let's see. You have like 1 or 2 hours. I'll be on for a little bit, at least until I get hungry. I got myself like a sandwich from like Jersey Mike's before coming here, and I just put it in the fridge because I'm like, Yeah, I'm not hungry yet. And this would be good for after, so then I don't have to like you know, figure out after the stream what I'm gonna go where I'm gonna go to go eat. Let's see. So some sort of ear shape in there. I think I want him to be really furrow browed. Let's do it like DBZ style with like that little thing in the middle. He might be Super Saiyan in this world. We don't know. Um, and then I think I'll give him like big bulging eyes. I think yeah, I think big bulging eyes would be something kind of funny to look at. Greek mythology, and he'll insert into Pantheon Reapers. Makes sense. Am I going to start a monthly art challenge when school starts? I did it last year, and I thought it was a lot of fun. I'd probably do it again. I don't see why not. Spicy chicken at Wendy's calls your name. Oh yeah, yeah. Understand, understand. I'll usually go to like a Chick-fil-A or something for like a spicy chicken sandwich. Let's see. Would he be staring at this or would his eyes be closed? How much force is he pulling this thing with? I'm thinking eyes are closed. Maybe. Well, it'd be less fun. It'd be less interesting. Hmm. Oh, you know what? Cartoony eyes. Sorry. These are like not the eyes I ever draw, but I feel like they fit this scenario for some reason. Like they legit don't fit. It's the worst. Telling you. Part of this live stream experience is to hear me bash my own art because I'm like, I know I'm not taking it super seriously. Let's see. Let's see. Da, 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 da. A lot of things. Had Jersey Mike's yesterday. Did you go on vacation this summer? Honestly, I never go on vacation during the summer because I'm always working. And then it's also hard during the year to find a good spot. But this year I'm planning on hopefully going somewhere, maybe around winter, but we'll see. Oh no, I have not seen the Odyssey yet. I want to see it. Got to make a Spider-Man villain for Dempsey's redraw. Let's see. Uh, Hey, Nevea, I just deleted your last message. You really shouldn't share your last name online. But yes, I do realize you're from school. Appreciate you. All right, let's see. More of my style and not cartoony style. Although nothing wrong with it. It would definitely fit this vibe for whatever this weird thing is. It's a bit inaccurate, but you like it, yeah. I feel like maybe if I do like those like One Piece, Monkey D, Luffy styled eyes where it's like he's got like no color in his eye necessarily. It's just like lines, like "Urgh," and then just kind of drop in some sweat lines or whatever. I think that would be kind of right. There we go. We got like a gritty mouth kind of thing going on here. Um, Although I think it should be coming that way. There we go. Um, let's see. Eye coming this way. think the last time we did something similar, it had a different title. I think it was like Roll for D&D Character or something. Um, I think we ended up with like Ruku's like potential sister from like another universe. So the Bo Braxton comment from earlier kind of sinks in well, I think. I'm not entirely sure. Yep, I totally agree, Dempsey. Personal info and ages are a no-go in chat. Yeah, usually I'm good with like a usually I'm really good with a first name or whatever your handle is. But yeah. What music artists do I listen to? I listen to like some metalcore stuff. So so I would be more of a like Duck Scare Secret Appearance. Okay. Yeah, we could put a Duck Scare in there. Why not? Put Duck Scare in there. Then it becomes an art fight piece automatically. Um, with very little Duck Scare. Um, but yeah, so like Day Seeker, Our Last Night, the Home Team, things like that. But I also listen to like old school like AC/DC, Metallica, things of that nature. Or like pop punk rock music. That's more my vibe. Although when I moved here, became some country stuff, so I do have like some country music like peeps on the back burner as well. Oh, you're missing the music in the background, aren't you? Yeah, yeah, yeah. So again, new computer, uh, easily like I have to figure out how to make sure everything is right with this, and then yeah, I'll drop the music back in here. I do miss the music blaring in the background. It used to get me like pumped up and going. So if you remember, like if you watched any of those other live streams, I'm hoping the music's not cut out of any of them. But yeah, they were some banger songs on there. Fantasy songs and at the end of some of your videos say otherwise. Give me a good shanty. I will take it. But yeah. All right, cool. Thanks for the recommendation. Yeah. All right, let's see. Do we want to give him like facial hair? I don't know. Is he a young boy? I don't know. Let's figure this part out. I don't know how much of it I guess if he's unknown, he's got to be some new guy. I don't know. I feel like someone would have heard something about this character, but his legend score says otherwise. This is why he's not heard of. He probably was the skeleton in here. And because he's Goliath, I not that because he's Goliath, but I am going to keep him relatively bald, I think. Like Bo's bald, but I give him a beard. This one I'll just keep him like clean. And then of course I have to put in like his tats and whatnot, his little tribal markings. My problem is like because I switched to another computer and it's because I bought out Clip Studio Paint. A lot of my brushes don't get saved and they don't get transferred, except for the ones that are stuck in my account. So I can't find like the ones that I customize personally. Like they don't exist because I never exported them out. So I'm like trying to mess with some brushes and I'm just like, it doesn't feel like my other brush. Like my sketch brush doesn't even feel like my regular brush. It's really sad. All right, cool. So we've got this guy. He's gonna need a name, guys. If anyone in chat wants to give him a name, feel free to give him a name. And I think his clothes would come off here. Give him something big, because he's gonna have his chain shirt on it. But yeah, he definitely needs a name for sure. Still have featherweight on your playlist. These are good songs, guys. Just saying. Including League of Legends for Donazar. Yeah, yeah. I'll definitely check them out. Let's see. Can I do more collabs, not all with artists? I think that would beat the point of doing a collab if I wasn't doing art with artists. Let's see. Only have hair with magical items? It depends. I have a lot of DMs that are like, "Hey, it's your character. Do whatever you want with it." So like mohawks and whatever else. Like I remember seeing somewhere on YouTube someone played a Goliath with like a pink mohawk, and I'm like, that's pretty dope. But yeah, no, I get it. I get it. Um, let's see. I'm gonna make this the chain shirt. That's where this is gonna be. But yeah, I'm gonna keep him bald. And of course I'll round out that head and not make it look so square when I actually do it. Uh, but yeah, it'll be fine. I won't give him any facial hair. He's gonna be a younger adventurer of some sort. Is the thought. Um, and again, I don't even realistically, or at least on the top of my head, I don't know what a chain shirt looks like. But when I get to the line work stage, that's where I'll probably look up all my references so that I can fix some things that are in here. But for right now, chain shirt is a t-shirt or a tunic that'll have some chains on top of it. That's just what it is for right now. It'll obviously change in a second. Um, but yeah, when I was coming up with some of the stuff on the list, obviously I was using like D&D Beyond to come up with a lot of the stuff. But it is what it is. But and then as far as Izzy with the collab question, like I do plan on collabing with a bunch of artists in a little bit. Hopefully, as the months continue, just reaching out. Something you should do is tweak a brush for your line art. Yeah, I like customizing brushes. So like I had a nice one. This is close to what I had, where it's almost like a watercolor brush slash pencil. So you can see the pencil grit, and then it just gets darker and darker the more you get into it, which is probably my favorite part. But for some reason, even with like I can't remember what settings I mixed it in with originally. So all that's on my old computer. But even then, I can't access that without moving Clip Studio from the new one to the old one. Really weird, messy stuff. Bob the Bob. That's gonna be a name, Bob the Bob. Uh, Bailiff Braxton. Hey, the last name doesn't even have to be Braxton for it to be a cousin. So hey, give him a Dragon Ball esque name. Yes, something close to Vegeta. But yeah. You could collab with non-artists, but would have to be maybe they prompt you with random items and or scenario you need to draw out or something. That's true. That's true. I actually like that idea, Dempsey. So that'd be more like the quote unquote if AI gave me a description for me to draw kind of thing. So, but it would just be people instead. Wouldn't be too bad. Real G pen for lines. Yeah, so I do use a G pen for lines. That's usually my go-to is a G pen, or the real G pen. But I liked my real G pen because I had it customized on the other one. Because it's grittier. It's got more tooth to it than like basic G pen. But again, I'm still trying to play around with some of the pens and things on here because I had customized so many of them at a certain point. But yeah, so G pen, real G pen, highly recommend. Bob the Bald. No wonder he's unknown. I think that would be perfect. On that note, been a while since a collab. Hint, hint. You all know who you are. Of course, of course. I'll be looking at you. It would just have to. Hopefully, I could fit it into my own theme of sorts, depending on what it is. Either way, I'm fine with anything. Yeah, yeah. True Green 7 does have non-artist Pokemon YouTubers that try to draw. I've seen the series, and I think they're hilarious, and I do love what he does with them. But yeah, I think that would be great. Um, let's see, put in arm over here, elbow, forearm, bam, do do do. But yeah, I would love to do a few more collabs just to have um I don't know, I love the camaraderie of it. Just being able to work with an artist and then getting to see what they do and how they interpret different things. I think it's awesome. And I think from your points, guys, for like the non-artists, I think yeah, you know what, you're right. There there are a lot of things that non-artists can contribute as well. Would be interesting. Or if I told non-artists to draw something and then I had to redraw it, that wouldn't be bad either. What am I going to do for fifth grade? Usually, so the things that I'm keeping, let's start there. The things I'm keeping for what I'm doing with my fifth graders, were things that my students voted on. Because again, it's a class where I'll ask my kids what they're interested in learning, and then we just kind of build the curriculum as we go. Because there's no set curriculum. It doesn't exist necessarily. But I am keeping surreal photo composites because that was always fun, where you get to do a little bit of photography, take some photos, cut out different pieces from other people. Like we did, turned a girl's face into a pizza head. So you had eye features, nose features, and we just put it on a pizza head. I had people put like hands, eyes, mouths on their hands. So it was like talk to the hand kind of thing. So that stuff is being kept. We did animation last year. Animation was always a nice one. So that one I kept in all three grade levels, so three, four, five. Um, Illustration, sketching, things like that. I think we talked about doing styles last year, where the kids were like, "How do we do a chibi style? How do we do an anime style?" So those were fun. And then I ask you this, chat: if you were a fifth grader, right, or are a fifth grader, and there's something that you would like to learn digital art wise back then, right, like a skill set, what would it be? Out of curiosity, because I could totally take that into consideration for what I do with my group or my groups of kids. Go with Boulder. Yeah, his name could become Boulder after he breaks this rock, or as he's like just kind of swinging things. Kind of looks like Goku. Kind of looks like a bard. I'm liking that. Radicus. I kind of like the name too. There's a lot of good names out there. This I'm gonna actually paint, so I don't know why I'm doing this, but just to give it a shape. I find that it's easier for me to do elements as paintings than it is for me to do people as paintings. It's very strange. And then I think the shirt needs to actually be around here. This way I can leave some room for like you know how like in Game of Thrones they have like those double loop belts or whatever, kind of like this. I don't know. I have to double check. Again, references really important, guys. We should have a reference for like these double loop belts and stuff like that for himself. And then it didn't say anything about uh, other clothing types. It's just chain shirt. So it's not like the plate armor or anything else where I could kind of figure that he'd be in all metal armor. The chain shirt, I don't think it matters as much. So I'm going to give him regular trousers of sorts. And then I think if I just limit this thing down, we could get the boot. And I guess the question is for this one, do I and I guess the choice I'll leave it to you guys. Do we um digitally paint this thing? Or do I just go regular illustrative style line work into pen? I'm really curious. What are your thoughts of what we should do for this character? So for you, not sure. I just saw that. Process is key. Yeah. Would be interesting to see a comic. Yeah, comics are fun. I actually did one of my semester fourth grade groups we did comics, and I thought that was fun. So I might actually put that back in. Draw backgrounds. Okay, yeah, and that was one of the things I did was perspective, but it was like basic level perspective with boxes and stuff. So figuring out styles, that'd be kind of cool. Like you know how artists do like the 12 styles or 10 styles challenge? Maybe I bring that up to my students. That'd be kind of interesting. First, they have to draw a character at some point. They're figuring out their own style, and then we challenge them to do different styles, and that could be their project for one of the units. Realism, realism would be cool. I'm not proficient anywhere close with realism art. Pebble Breaker, again, unknown traveler guy. Pebble Breaker. I've never heard of you. Never heard of you. That makes sense. Pixel art. Yep, I did pixel art. I did pixel art for my third graders. They loved it. And then it's also one of my things that I have for as if it's a rainy day in case I need a substitute or if I'm not around. They get to go to pixel art website to just create some stuff. My fifth graders never did it, but I did it for my younger kids. Digital painting from Izzy. Yeah, that might not be a problem. I've been trying to practice it more. I would like I would like to get to that point where it's like, oh, I can paint this more realistic than I have. All right, so let's just say this is the boot. So I'm not going to put too much detail if that's the route I go. Yeah, yeah, 13 art styles, 12 random styles, and one is your own art. Yeah, that's the one. Um, yeah, so I think that's what it would be. I think that would be a fun project all the way around because I feel like you'd be engaged the entire time. Because I don't want to do anything like super boring. I always hated it in class where like the art teacher would be like, "All right, you have to do this," and then you're like, everyone replicates the exact same like bird painting the exact same way. So that's never like fun. You know what I mean? So yeah, absolutely. Oh, and then as my stream elements, likes to kindly remind me. So if you're enjoying the stream, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. So yeah, it helps other people find this channel as well. But yeah, I forgot about that thing popping up. Let's see, and then we'll have rope, quote unquote rope, over here, and then ropey, ropey, ropey to whatever a raven is supposed to look like. Again, I will look up all references momentarily to look at these things. And then and then I'll probably end up leaving a message at some point that I am going to close out my drawing with Mr. S or the S Squad Discord, and then I'm going to open up that new one soon after. I don't know when I'm going to close it. There'll be more than enough advance notice. But for those people that have been keeping that thing going, I appreciate you. I struggled with time and a little bit of mental health stuff last year. So I appreciate you guys keeping it going. I couldn't keep it going on my own. So people like you guys that have been in there constantly, I appreciate it. Let's see. No one knows this guy's name and calls him Boulder. Like that might be what he calls himself, but then as Dempsey says, maybe other people are like Pebble Breaker, Rocky. You know, they don't know his name. Sucks that you're left on a cliffhanger for World of Wanana. Yeah, I know. I'm so sorry. I had ideas for it. But then that around the hiatus was the point that I was hitting some mental health stuff, where I was just like, no, I couldn't draw, I couldn't do anything. Literally, I mean, that's why I was gone for 6 months. Here I am being candid right now. Um, but yeah, no, I mean, I was just going through some things in my head. I lost a couple family members, uh, all last year, like all school year. So I lost an uncle before December. I lost my aunt right as the school year was ending. Like, so I've been hit hard. Um, so yeah, so like that's part of the reason I haven't been around as long as I have. But I'm back now. I'm feeling better, feeling good. You got to take care of you. You know, sometimes you got to take a step back. But it is what it is. But for Wanana, I don't know if I'll go back to it necessarily. But I am hoping to do like other series that are similar. I think I got a little bit better at trying to figure out the writing for it. At least the way that I want the story to go, especially since I've been DMing a little bit more. So I want to do it from a different viewpoint. Maybe try to make a video more interactive. Maybe have you roll and give you like kind of those, you know how those interactive books used to tell you like, hey, pick your adventure, pick your where you're going. I was thinking maybe something in there would do the exact same thing. So where your dice could kind of determine that. But I don't know. I got to figure out a way to make it work. Um, so yeah, let's see. Uh, yeah, first draw their current, then they're 12. Yep. Finish with the 14th. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, by the way, is there a reason you're closing the Discord and not just changing the title? No, I just wanted to make sure everything was from scratch. It was actually kind of my I don't know, it was my thought process going into even with YouTube changing my name as opposed to making a new one. I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm still the same drawing with Mr. S, but then I thought about it as being, well, this is like the next evolution. But I think for the Discord that I want to build for the drawing DM, I feel like I want it to be more personal for what I want to do. So like I had the idea about doing the voices from the realm and involving the community with their D&D characters. So I draw their characters and then they voice act inside of it. Like ideas like that, I think, is what I want it to be. And then obviously D&D art specific and whatnot. I think that's my main reason for thinking for the Switch. But yeah, digital hugs from Mark. Appreciate you. Ben, you lost your grandfather. I'm sorry to hear that, man. I definitely understand how that feels. Um, Oh, the Greek Power Ranger series. Yeah, that one was like that one's always been in like my sketchbooks and stuff, and it's supposed to be like a web comic I was gonna do at some point, and just never happened. We designed our characters for D&D and play live on a call with voices and characters on screen. Oh, you know what? I would totally dig that. Sign me up as DM. I would put you in one of my worlds, no problem. Yeah, yeah, as doing that with the new channel is fair enough. Yeah, no, I totally get it. Totally agree. Um, but yeah, yeah. So that's a little bit of things happening this way. Um, but yeah. So let me just make a couple small tweaks of adjustments here. I'm gonna free transform this. Bam. All right. So I'm going to, I think and I'll put the birds and stuff in after, but I think we talked about doing a digital painting. So I'll do this digitally, like painting style. But I do want to make sure that I'm satisfied with some of this. I don't think he needs anything else. He's going to end up with his tribal marking soon. So let's grow this out. It's about yay big. And then I'm going to just select this entire area. Actually, let's make that wider. There we go. And then I'm going to start my quote unquote digital painting process. But I think I'm going to start it off with this kind of a tone. And I'm going to put like some, like, I don't know if I want some oil paint. I want something better than that. Let's see. Maybe a round brush of start. Yeah, let's do this. I will look at the chat as I do this. I could have just easily just put in some stuff, but I just wanted to do it like this and then drop in. Maybe there's some shadows or something going on. This just gives me something to like work in so it's just not plain. And then maybe grab like a, I don't know, like a charcoal brush. That might be interesting. Because then I got like this one that does like canvas kind of style. And then we could probably just completely blur some of that. Just so I have something to work with. I'm thinking he's going to be in a cave. I feel like cave, maybe a spotlight dropping down from the top. I think somewhere in here is where all that's going to be. At least that's my thought. Um, but yeah, so let's go ahead. Let's figure out a couple things. And I do like my blocking brush. So I think I'll continue with my little. It's called O block. I don't remember where on where in Clip Studio that I found it in the asset store, but I like it. It's called O dash block. Kind of dig it for blocking in things. Is it okay if I text literally everything as someone who isn't comfortable with speaking in voice chat yet? Yeah, why not? They do have servers for D&D where people just like text and play. So that's not too bad. Yeah. You'd love to be in a D&D. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Bob the Rock Destroyer. I think we're stuck on Bob. Bob's kind of interesting. Boulder Bob or something. I don't know. Uh Figure that Donazer was okay, yeah. Because the oh, same art style. Yeah, art styles kind of give things away when you draw in a specific style. Bat Knight to Kaiju, absolutely. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I do like the pointillism brush too. For those that aren't sure, where are you? This one. This one's kind of cool. You get a lot of cool like round effects with it. Um, but yeah, jungle or forest. Bob Boulder, Pebble Breaker, BBP. That'd be kind of cool because it'd be like an old school like Diamond Dallas Page DDP, but we'll call him BBP. I don't think that's bad at all. Let's see. I'm gonna go dark for this rock. So go dark. We will hopefully chip it apart. There we go. Grab it from the bottom. Flatten this side out. It's no different than I guess like a mountain. There we go. I'm gonna lose the sketch for a second, and then I'm just gonna literally just clipping mask above it, and then just put in a little bit of a like a faded kind of like orangey brown kind of color, and just pop that in. On the first day of school, you're gonna come into the library, and I'm gonna be there. Then you're gonna come up to you and give you a big hug. Oh, cool. I accept it. Give you a hug. Right back. I don't know if I'm going to be in the library or the gym. It seems like encore teachers get shoved wherever, so I have no idea. But definitely find me, please. All right. So let's say the light is actually coming from, let's say, like top leftish. So then I can just like pat this in here, pat some of this in here. Literally, it's going to be like nothing I've done before. Just like I'm just essentially just picking some colors out and then just randomly moving my brush in here, whether it's darker or lighter. And the hope is, especially since I'm doing it live, right? So, is that it'll actually turn out all right. But there's no telling. We're gonna find out as we do it. But this is kind of like how I started discovering like, oh, it wasn't too bad when I was doing it for that one dragon drawing, when I was coming up with some of the box designs. But then I kind of like the grittiness of it. I don't know. Like it's almost like oil painting in a sense. So it doesn't like it just stacks on top of each other and it just looks a funky different way. But yeah. Yeah, I don't know what the Mr. Beef reference is. Unless you meant Mr. Beast, but it wouldn't be me, so no idea. Unless it was an inside joke. That at that point, I really don't know. My brain like washes away once the summer hits, because then I get hit with even more students online, and then I'm just like, oh no, overwhelming. Okay, we get like a little rock over here. Block this out a little bit. And then I will grab a little bit of a lighter gray again. There we go. The painting process could be extra tedious, but it is something I want to, again, try to become better at, or at least study a little bit more from like other videos, or maybe take a class online so I can be a little bit more comfortable with it. But yeah, yeah, the different Aarakocra on different birds, I think sounds great. That's like when I was building Salal up for my series, he didn't really fit Kenku vibes, but he's essentially an Aarakocra. So and I can't remember what kind of bird it was. It was like an island bird, somewhere. I forgot where I found the picture. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna base him off of this particular bird, colors of the beak and everything. It was something tropical. So I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, so definitely somewhere in there is where I was having him. Okay, sounds weird. Yeah. Interesting. Again, not sure what it's in reference to. Uh, but yeah, Mr. Beef just doesn't sound too good. Just personal. Let's see. I feel like this rock looks alright. Alright, I will accept it as is, and then maybe, just maybe, blend a little bit of it. There we go. And I am still also messing around with some of these settings for my blender because my smudge brush, I don't know what I did with it on the other computer, but it worked so much different than the one that's on this one. And I'm just like, oh, should have just like imported everything before switching them out. But it's too late now. I've gone too far at this point. Okay. I'm just gonna touch up a couple spots just so it sticks out a little bit more. There we go. All right, so I got a rock of sorts. Now I'm gonna move up to the sword. We'll get. Oh yeah, I gotta look up reference for chain shirt. Forgot about that. So I'll definitely do that in some way, shape, or form. So we'll get that going. And then I'll move on to like some of the other like elements on here. So I've got a rock. Now it's time for the sword. Weird question, but would you get a pet dino? Yeah, I totally would. Especially if it's like a cool small dino. I imagine Dragonborn's born based off of dinosaurs. Ben, there's actually a whole like there's a book that was just released recently during the summer where let's see, I know I have it in my library somewhere. But it's essentially a dinosaur book. Just gonna try to scroll where they actually let you have dinosaur races for your characters. And so dinosaur races for your characters, and then you can also fight dinosaurs, and some are even magical variants. Trying to scroll on my D&D Beyond account so I could find it. Uh, yeah. Dr. Drolin's Dictionary of Dinosaurs is the source book. And it's from Paleo Games. And yeah, so you get like a whole bunch of different races of people that happen to be dinosaur hybrids. So I think that's not bad at all. Let's see. So the other ones were warmer colors. I'll use a cooler color for the sword. Um, so let's block out a shape for the sword. And actually, you know what? Let's do a symmetry ruler for this one. This way I can keep it symmetrical without feeling like it's off. And then I'll just, oops, turn that back on, tilt it. Somewhere in there should fit the hand. Awesome. But yeah. Hey, thanks. Appreciate you. Nerd. I think it's looking good. That's not too bad. If I zoom out, like usually when I'm painting, I'm zooming out. It does give like a nice, cool kind of effect. Roll the legend score for your character, literally just the definitive Mary Gary Sue. So sword. Actually, you know what? Let's make this darker so I can actually see it. There we go. Sometimes my eyes don't work if something is like too bright. I don't know what it is about it. Maybe it's just the old age, or just being on like digital devices way too much. Um, but yeah, let's get rid of that. That thing's getting in my way. And then maybe give it like a something like gold in here or something like some sort of a ring of sorts would be kind of interesting. Let's see. Level 86 lawful good, ASMR reborn monk wielding a war pick. So you're 86. Tells you that yeah, you are. It's a living myth. Gotta love it. You just, you're so mythical, like you really don't exist, but you do. Sometimes you come over to the villages, and they see you, and they can all rejoice and regale you in song about your like journey and everything else you've done. All right, there's my sword outline. Right, not too bad. Actually, forms the shape of a sword. I promise. It was a long sword. You're missing the rest of the sword in there. Um, but yeah, so we got this little guy. Now it's time to create a new clipping mask. So let me actually name these layers before I forget them. Got a rock, and then this one is sword. I think this has been like the different workflow for me because whenever I get to the digital painting part, everything's like its own little layer, which kind of it's interesting in and of its own. Because I would never like do like normally I just line art, everything's on one layer. I would color, everything's flat on one layer, shadows on a layer, lights on a layer. But when I'm doing this actual painting stuff, I'm like finding myself separating everything. Although realistically, if it was real paint, chances are you'd probably just be layering on top of the one actual canvas, right? So there is that. I do need this a little bit more solid. Looks like my brush doesn't make it too solid. There we go. Whoops. Try that again. There we go. And then transparent to cut part of it off. All right, so let's get this. Put in some sort of shape in here. Don't want blue necessarily. Got to figure out what we're going to put in there. Avatar Battle Series? No. Anything from the Drawing with Mr. S era is essentially done with, more or less. So I'm going to try to, everything's going to be brand new. I'm trying to keep everything within the new name, stuff like that. Uh, so just kind of think about like a lot of the stuff that existed before probably doesn't exist now, more or less. Unless I feel like going back to certain topics. Um, but even then, I think it'll just present itself as something a little different, which is not bad. And I appreciate the fact that you liked a series that I actually enjoyed because it was supposed to be like a essentially like a web comic as well originally. Because I love Digimon, I love Pokemon, I love Mega Man, and that's essentially where that kind of vibe came from. But yeah. How long am I going to stream? Again, until I probably get hungry. At the very least, I'll probably stream, hopefully, right? At the least until the sword is done, right? At the best until I get like the whole body done or something close to it. But again, I don't have my references up at all for like a sorry, I'm moving my color wheel at the same time. I don't have a reference set up for like a lot of the other stuff, like the chain shirt or the Raven or anything like that. So I'd like to do those. If anything, I might even just if I do end up ending, I'll probably try to see if I can get on again tomorrow with this exact same topic of sorts. Um, but I don't know because I also have that mass attack to knock out. Um, so I'd like to knock that out at some point, and then I don't know. We'll kind of see. I'm gonna go as far as I can, or as long as I can, with this one. So we've got this kind of a shade. Remember the world building project? Of course. So close to it, right? Almost made it in that year. I had everything written up too. And then I had art done for a video that I never actually released. Um, but yeah, it would have been interesting to finish it up. But now I'm moving into actual world building for like hopefully like mini campaigns, one shots, things like that. Um, You liked my digestive dino from the S Chronicles. I loved my Chronicles series. There's something about it that I loved. I won't be bringing it back necessarily, but what I loved about it was it had everything to do with my students. So my students came up with superheroes based on the human body systems for class. I was teaching science, and I was like, oh, let's just make it more interesting. Because when I taught middle school, I did one that dealt with turning elements off the periodic table of elements into superheroes and supervillains. So I did the same thing with my elementary kids, essentially. Um, and that just proved to be like a load of fun and a lot of creativity. And one of the girls had a story that was essentially what launched Tsukisune into her story because they were going to be one-offs, but because of her story, I ended up linking other superhero characters together, and that's how that came about. So it came about from a school project that I gave to my students, and then ultimately it led into something bigger than that that lasted a few years into a war between demigods and champions and stuff. So that would always hold a special spot in my heart for sure. Yeah, you can show me what you did. You can send it. I won't have a chance to look at it during stream, but I'll definitely check it after stream. A D&D version of Digestive Dino. It would totally work now that there's dinosaur folks. Although it would be nice to, I guess D&D idea would be to create my own species or my own races and design them for play. Would be kind of fun. Can I do animal characters? Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I think yeah, absolutely. I'll have to for the stuff that I want to do for the future. Let's see. I'll make this a little bit darker. Actually, should have made this. Let me change the color of this real quick, and then make it kind of like a strap of sorts. And then let me turn this as if it was supposed to be like a silver or something. It won't stay that bright. And then let's get a little bit darker. I do have one thing I did like that I thought that I rendered pretty well was like some like mead or alcohol that I did for my Voices from the Realm. I redid thumbnails recently to just include like Lucidius, who's my lizard persona guy, who's like that lizard wizard with the hat that you see in a lot of my videos now. So I think it was like a lot of fun to like just try to draw, but when I rendered that, I was just trying to figure it all out, and eventually it just turned out looking really nicely, and I was like really satisfied and surprised that I was able to do it because I didn't think I actually could. Gonna be honest, I was, but and then I started changing up Lucidius's style for other thumbnails just to make it interesting because I probably can't redraw him over and over the same way. Um, Although I guess the thumbnail for this video can I don't know beg to differ, I guess. But yeah, I appreciate you guys sticking around for sure. Um, Helps me out. But yeah, let's see. I know some of you guys started messaging. Why am I the best person ever? I totally am not the best person ever, Nevea. But I appreciate that you think that I am. But yeah. Want to get some advice from me? Let's see. What could Ven possibly ask? How do you manage RPG campaigns? I want to host an epic pirate campaign with my cousin soon. Okay, so if first off, is what you're doing a like a legit campaign? Like, is it like a long campaign that you plan on doing for like a few years? Is it a campaign that you feel like you can knock out in about a year? Like what are you trying to do with that first so that because I know you said you want an episodic pirate campaign. I'm thinking One Piece Adventures kind of. But I just want to get that from you before I answer in detail. And it also helps me think a little bit. Um, can you show me now? Again, you can show me, but I won't be able to get a chance to look at it until later. Sorry, Ark. Um, let's see. Commented on a past video, it would be interesting to see an owl bear being trained to use magic. Again, I think that would be interesting, right? So that would be like a, hey, let's create a race. I mean, why not create a race of half owl bears or something? Kind of like how they took giants and created Goliaths, right? Or furbolgs as well, essentially, because they're also from giant ancestry. Although most of us, I guess not most of us, I still take a furbolg as something that's more of like a deer, like a stag, kind of bovine um, character, whereas the D&D source book tells you they're of giant ancestry. So yeah, I mean it'd be kind of cool to do an owl bear as a race itself that is playable, and not just as a monster from the Monster Handbook. Can I do water animals? Yeah, actually, I can do turtles. I've done ducks. Crabs, I turned a student into a crab once. That's like a very old video when I was doing mermaid forever ago. I think that's when the channel first started. I think it was around COVID, probably. So yeah, that does exist somewhere. Somewhere in the old archives, if you will. But I have a student that can kick butt when it comes to like drawing water animals. If he ever shows up on one of these streams, I'll definitely point him out. But he's definitely in my Discord already. His name is Lucas. Stellar artist. Very talented. I don't even think he knows how talented he is, but he does creature designs and water aquatic animal designs better than anyone I've ever seen, for sure. And I know he's only a teen, so he can only grow from there. Atlantis, yeah. So you want island voyages, sea battles, the kind of stuff. Maybe an Atlantis-esque area. That'd be kind of cool. That'd be kind of cool. Nerd just said turning students into crabs. I didn't know school systems allowed for transfiguration. Uh, no, yeah. So during Mermaid, I just used my students. I asked them if they would be interested in me drawing them as whatever the mermaid prompts were, and one of them was a crab. So I turned one of my boys into a crab because he was having like a crabby attitude. And I was like, "Oh, perfect. I'm signing you up. I'm drawing you as a crab for this one." Really good kid though. Really good kid. He was a good sport about it. Um, but yeah, so okay. So if you're thinking about it along those lines, I guess the first thing would be think about where you want your campaign to start. If your players are going to be just dropped into a fight right away, if it's going to be one of those things where very D&D like they meet in a tavern and someone employs them for some sort of voyage or job or whatever. You could start moving the episodic stuff that way. The whole managing that campaign would be you'd have to know your world really well. Think about how much of the world you want them to explore from the beginning. Are they starting off on land and then something takes them out to sea? Because that could be like a whole arc on its own, if that makes sense. If it's not like the main part, like maybe they've already have some reason for doing this, then that's why they're meeting already on some sort of boat with other people that are like them, maybe some sort of monster attack or whatever, and then they have to search. But that would be like how I would think about it episodically for every time you meet. There's a group I meet up with that I DM that are from the school, like I got them into D&D, and so every it's once a month for us though, where it works for our schedule that we meet up. And so little by little, we've been exploring like the smallest part of a map. And so the way that I got everyone involved was I gave them a little intro from like before they met up. So I gave them like one of their characters I had meet up in a place where they were working with some sort of trading issue. And then they found out that they ended up with getting the debt that their parent had earned. And so now that person's kind of got some issues, along with, hey, this person wants you to travel for them. He's an old friend of yours from a university of magic school or whatever that you attended, and so now what do you have to do? And essentially all my players, they gravitated towards the let's do this thing for this person. And then eventually they all met up. So they were on three different locations, met up in one place. They had to do something. And that was really funny is a lot of their decision making led them to more troubles than what I had planned. And of course, you just improvise most of it, and then you just kind of go from there, which is kind of cool. And then essentially they were just working through trying to figure out what this group was doing at a spot. But it's funny because they were really primarily focused on rescuing their friend that got captured by this bad group, and they completely ignored the why this group was in this place uh, at this time, which is great because it's going to come bite them in the butt later. So like little things, and they just went through a dungeon. Their first dungeon experience, they loved it. I kept it small. I kept it to about 6 rooms, 7 rooms or so, and they ended up leaving with some great magical items. They've leveled up, things like that. It's been really cool. So I think what I would say is just know your world, know how far you want them to go, and then you should have like little bits for them. So little moments where it's just them role playing, little moments where they're highlighted. Right now, I've got everyone's backstories, and so this first part of my little arc that I'm doing essentially highlights one of the characters. And so they had to return home to this place where these bad people were. So I'm highlighting him and his backstory so he can learn his character a little bit more deeply through role play. And so he has the spotlight, he has the shine. And now after that moment, which is what our next session's going to be, they have to decide what they're going to do now. So they're either going to figure out if they're going to separate. I doubt they'll separate, or they'll follow each other to the next mission, or maybe someone kind of comes in the way and sets them on a mission that also leads to someone else's backstory. Because I want them to like learn each other, if that makes sense. And again, it's their first D&D sessions that we've had together. So yeah, I would say just know your world, know where you want to bring it, and then guide them. But don't railroad your players. Let them have autonomy. Let them decide things. Let's see. I'm missing some stuff. Let's see. Can you do a live just reading chat? I think I'm doing that now instead of drawing. I think that's my problem. Yeah, I guess. That'd be so weird. Um, but yeah, let's see. Uh, Please, being elemental dragon, the hatchlings, elemental creature, looks like dragon with a long story in mind. P.S. I would not approve doing this way. I have so much work. Yeah. D&D as a DM. Yeah, for sure. Um, so basically, that intro, decide how much the world will be explored, have them let loose by then once everything is solid. Yeah. I mean, once you let them loose, then that's the part where you have to be like, you know, have an idea of what's around. Figure out what system you're going to use, whether it's D&D 5.5, if it's just, 5e, 2014 rules, figure that stuff out too, like what kind of game system. But also don't, I guess, pigeonhole yourself into a system, like 100%, because then you can draw from other stuff. Like I was doing a war arc for like my online group that I'm DMing for, and so I tried a system for like a system for how like they could battle and like large troops. They hated it. Absolutely, it was just dog water for them, and I felt it for them. But then after that session, I was able to talk to them and be like, "Hey, look, I noticed that we weren't big on this. Don't worry, I'm removing those elements. We'll be doing something. We'll still continue the story, but we won't be doing big group battles like that with like troops and whatnot. So just kind of read the room, if you will, as well, as you play with those players. It's really important. Can you help in school when you get there? Help with what? Sorry, usually I don't need help with much, but yeah, just some shenanigans of role play system weekend. Oh, okay, cool. That'd be kind of cool. But yeah, I think the role play would be like I think role play is a lot of fun. Um, One way you could even start it off. We do it for our like the game store that I play at. Um, they have a Discord for it. But they would have a spot like it's their version of their tavern, and essentially they have a group or a Discord channel on there where they get to just role play their character, and like so they'll role play as them coming into the actual tavern, and they meet people and whatnot, and they talk, and then eventually they might leave the tavern and whatnot, and then other people come in. So I think that's kind of cool. Um, be a fun idea to do, especially if you're not keen to like being a voice chat or whatnot. I think that'd be kind of fun in a sense. Yeah, I'm starting to think I don't even know why I'm doing this whole pommel and stuff when the hand's gonna be over top of it, but is what it is. All right, I think the sword looks interesting, so I'm gonna keep the sword the way it is. Don't go overboard with your world story. So big that they can easily years in D&D. Ain't nothing wrong with a long campaign, especially if you guys are enjoying yourselves. Oh yeah, imagine if they die at sea on one of their adventures. The group that I was just talking about, one player died on day one, but I had to make a pact. Well, I asked him if he wanted to make a pact with a devil of sorts, and so now as he levels up, he can only level up as a warlock, as he now has a patron and he's unlocked some special abilities. And the patron's gonna he's only has the patron for essentially until he has to do a favor that he cannot refuse. But the patron hasn't asked him for a favor yet. He's just trying to manipulate him and whatnot until he gets more favors, and then he kind of becomes permanently stuck. Yeah. I am making a new Discord server, and I do have a spot for roleplay. Eventually, yeah. Is the character that I'm using going to be used in fights? No, I was just doing this one for fun. Um, the other thing is just a little fun, just kind of like trying to figure this stuff out. Let's see. I think I'm gonna break this down. I kind of want to do the boots, and I think after the boots, I think I'll probably call it for the stream. So yeah, I think I'll get through the boots, and then from there, I'll kind of end it. Um, but yeah, again, appreciate you guys being here with me. Definitely helps the time pass by really nicely. So yeah, so let's do a boot design, but it's gonna have to at least have the actual look of a boot. What you talking about? Right, that sort of thing. Let's see. I'm gonna zoom this one in, and I'm thinking, because this is all outline for it. I'm gonna use a round brush real quick. That's a mixing brush. Do I not have a? I know there's a hard round brush in here somewhere. Maybe not. I'll just use the G pen. It's already round. Let's see. Please consider adding the Tupper box bot. It's a cool roleplay bot for servers that can make you set avatars for characters. Really, I will look into that. If you want to put it in the other server that you're in with me, put it there. So that this way I can look into it because I'm gonna probably forget once I get off this stream. Um, Am I going to do any more streams during the summer? Yeah, I'm essentially free this week, unless my wife has me run errands or whatever. But yeah, no, I'm going to try to stream a little bit more this week. Yeah, so it helps within the vein of D&D. That'd be kind of cool. All right, let's get basic boot shape. Basic boots. This might be a basic boot shape. Not entirely sure. Because I essentially just need like something solid. Whoops. Try that again. My arm kind of slipped. And then I got to think if there's any like straps or anything that's going to be on this thing. Let's do like a little bump here for a strap. And then one over here. I don't have an idea yet as to what this is going to look like. But if I can figure out what the silhouette looks like, then I'm in a better standing when it comes to this painting process. Okay. And then I'm also thinking, zooming in like a whole lot, so that I feel like boots would be so much better when they look like boots. And so I'm just gonna break this part down. Whoops. There we go. And then start curving this. There we go. And then curve it from here. So that I could have like this little dip over here. There we go. That kind of looks like a boot, right? Yeah, that kind of looks like a boot. I'm trying to look at it from far away so I can kind of justify it. All right, so I'm gonna label this first. That's a boot, and then we'll clipping mask above it. For this Ranger, am I sticking to like greens and blacks, or do you have guys? Because I don't have a color palette. Do you guys have like a particular palette that you think would work? Yeah, you can remind me post stream. I don't mind. Thank you, thank you. Appreciate that. Details being really good. Thanks, Iz. Did you? No, look, I will take more names. So far we've got BBP as one of the options, but I think I'm gonna feel like he earns his name once he's done. I feel like because then we're gonna be like, nah, he doesn't look like a pebble, although it would be hilarious. Angelic demon. Gonna get some lunch. Awesome, awesome. Enjoy that meal, Donazar. Purple. Do tutorials in school like this? Oh yeah, that's true. I could add that into it, like how I attempt certain things. Yeah, yeah. Absolutely. Good idea. Add that one to the list. Part of me actually thought about uh letting you guys end up deciding once I'm actually in there, like once we're actually at school, but then I would have to really um figure out what the curriculum is, but I have to do it ahead of time if I'm going to be a good teacher. That's why I'm asking now. Let's see. Boot. Let's see. I can see all the spots that I miss when I do this. That's what I love about it. All right, so I'll keep that to that color. Let's see. I guess it would just be darker. What do you think? Purple for it instead? Was that the thought? Is that what the purple was for? Choose random colors? Oh God, no. That would be scary. You know how scary that would be? Color palette wise, would be terrible. Um, but hey, I'm all for it. Let's do this. I'm gonna stick with this color, and then I will lighten up on top of it to kind of see what we have here. Because whatever I do here, I'm gonna have to eventually figure out what I'm doing with the other side. No, wrong blending mode. That also looks like it's too much. Interesting. I'll just keep it normal for now. And then if I just take this fingertip brush, I could just kind of shape it. There we go. Let's see. We're kind of seeing like the shape kind of start to take already, and we haven't even done much on it. So it's not too bad. He's unknown. Go nuts with color. Go for the purple. Muted tones because he's unknown. Yeah, I was thinking dark colors too. Let's see. I don't know if this will work on both layers. Yeah, I didn't think so. Not that it matters with the bottom layer. Let me do it this way. Let's see. I'll just bust up the saturation real quick so I could find that purple. Yeah, like something like that. It was like a, oh, go back. It was like a bluish purple. Let's drop that down a bit. All right, cool. So something like this might be pretty interesting. Let me just go ahead and pretend like there's these little I was gonna call it brackets. They're buckles. They're buckles. Um, of some sort. I do want to add like darker version of this where it would make sense to cut this part kind of like as if it was going up. If it's that dark, I'm just going to put it on the bottom as well. And then just kind of like find kind of like an in-between tone. And then I could just put it right here. And it should make some of this pop out. Although I don't want it to go all the way. So maybe, oh, can't blur that, can I? Blend it. There we go. Like that tone right over here, I think. Not too bad. And then if we need white, we can pop in some white somewhere else in there. He's unknown. He left only a boot. He's actually a ghost Goliath, and you just don't know. He's an aberration. Um, dark purple, dark blue, dark greens for the entire suit. Yeah, we could check it out. Yeah, absolutely. I think the dark purple sounds really nice. You get so into the generic green for Ranger, I think. Um, like the guy I don't even think I don't even know if I made him in my art fight reference sheet video. I can't remember, but Tulsval Rock, he's the guy I play on Sundays. Um, for him, he's all like browns and blacks. So, but he's also a Gloomstalker, so he's meant to like hide in the shadows. Let's see. I'm just gonna drop this in here. Drop these. I'm thinking this tone right here. I guess let me just pretend to color in this. I say pretend. Just pretend to color in all of this real quick. And then just bring in this color. Kind of like, I don't know. I feel like some boots have like a design of some sort near the heel. Again, I'm not looking at reference today. I really should have put up some reference, but I already started at a certain point where I was like, all right, too late to go back. I'll go back next time. I could always work on parts of this off stream, and then if I return tomorrow for on stream to finish it, then we can obviously finish it. And then I obviously won't. I'll have all my references ready for clothing. Um, but yeah. So yeah, let me do this right here. Blend that in. Because I think it's starting to look a little interesting. I don't know. It's the vibe I wanted to get for it was just to make it look appealing for the most part. Um, but we'll see what that actually looks like. See if we're actually happy with it. I don't know how I feel about that color. Might make it more blue, which is hard to tell because there's a lot of purple around it, so the colors aren't gonna look the way that you think they're supposed to look. But I guess that's the part of color theory that's like so annoying, is that certain colors will not appear to look like their colors when they're next to other colors. Indian metalcore. Interesting. Very interesting. Let's see. I think I want this. Let's go back to dark. Let's go back to dark for this part. Because I'm thinking this strap could be a little bit. I don't know what this color is. There we go. Maybe we could have like a thinner one going across. And I think that just automatically made it more interesting. And then for the back part of this, so that I could put it in here, just put like a little bump, I think, so that we know it's going around the boot. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. I think that's pretty good. I'm going to turn this canvas. It's going to look really strange for a second, so I apologize. Just putting in like a nice bright purple. So that from far away, I think it looks pretty cool. I don't know. What do you guys think? Oh, am I going to do the Ravens last? Yeah, I think the Ravens will be like if I stream tomorrow, it'll be tomorrow. Um, and I'll probably do the body or at least have references ready for the body um, while I'm off stream. I'll at least do that. So as long as I get this boot done, I'll probably hop off stream right as soon as I'm done. He leaves no trace of his whereabouts, nay, a single boot to mark his presence. It's kind of like it's almost serial killer like, nerd. No, I'm gonna leave my calling card. It kind of gives me the wet bandits vibe from like Home Alone. I don't know why my mind went that way instead of to something else that would make a little bit more sense, but that's like the robbery kind of like this is what we're gonna leave here. All right, this isn't too bad. I do need this to get brighter though. I just don't know how bright I want to make this. Because obviously, I guess it'll just depend on what kind of material this boot is. Just gonna stretch that that way. Softening it up by blending some of that color around it over it. Let's see. Outfit should include some silver. Izzy, yeah, that'll happen when I do the chain shirt, because there's no avoiding the silver when it comes to the chain shirt. So I'm gonna end up doing it that way for sure. Gonna finish yours tomorrow. Awesome art. Cool, cool, cool. And by then I ought to be able to see what you sent me. The boot's very good. Hey, I appreciate you. Appreciate you. Same time. Most likely. Usually I drive my wife to work, and so by the time I come back here, it's about 11ish, 10:30ish. Um, so yeah. So yeah, probably same time. Most likely. The time definitely works for me, and clearly it works for you guys. So by the end of this, we ought to have something pretty neat. Let's see. I think I put this towards the, which is weird because I think it's lit from that side, so I should really be putting the light that way. There we go. Yeah, I don't think this looks that bad. I'm actually pretty happy with it. Where did he go? He's invisible. Bam. Silver, gold. That's true. That's true. But I'd rather just work in the silver so I can get some practice in. Could do more gold. That one needs a little orange in it, and some browns. But I was trying to not stick on the sword for too long. See me in the dark. Nice. Gold and purple. That's not a bad color combo. But silver goes with everything too. So who knows? Do you change to the bottom of the boot? Hmm. I don't know. Like he's already not going to be sneaky, but I guess it wouldn't matter. Um, let's see. This needs to be put together. There we go. Zooming in again. Lo siento. Let's see. I want to get some blue in here. That's too bright. Let's go darker. Let's see. So this will be at least to give me like some sort of a highlight over here. It looks a little harsh for now, but we're gonna try to. We have to trust the process, guys. That's every single art person out there knows and hates to hear. Trust the process. What do you mean? All right, let's see. Let's do that. Put a little bit of this dark blue over here too. It's one of those like most cliche things too. Like you hear it from every artist. Like I've heard it a lot from art teachers too. Trust the process. They're not 100% wrong. Sometimes something starts out ugly and then it just becomes something better. Hopefully that's the way I feel by the end of this particular uh, Dice of Legend. Uh, from Dice to Legend kind of character. All right, so we got this in here. I do need to push this color back into it though, because it's overtaking the side corner I didn't want it to overtake. It's one of those know your role, sir. Stay in your lane. There we go. I think that's the right color. I think that little bit of blue will make it pop once I'm done with this. I just got to blend the other stuff back in. Let's see. Yeah, the gods are going to smite him. That's 100% true. Two two types, sneak Batman, sneak and rogue sneak. Draw a bag of chips. Okay. That reminds me, my sandwich. I got myself some Lay's, some like regular baked Lay's. I am getting a little hungry, but I am gonna finish this. Ooh, didn't mean to erase. I am gonna finish this guy off first though, before I end the stream. Let's see. Add a little bit of this blue in here. Just trying to blend it back and forth. Kind of push it aside. And then add a little bit of this back in here. A little darker. Let's see. I think this is the right color. There we go. Trying to round that out a little bit. All right, cool. I'm actually quite satisfied with the way that one turned out. It just needs some darks in it, like underneath by the light sources, like where I put like the little squiggles in there. But yeah, am I gonna do a drawing challenge for August? If you mean for like the school year, probably. Smogus is usually the biggest one there is. It's usually dragon based. Um, but yeah, I mean, we could always do one. I waited till September last school year just because there's only like a week or two of August. So by the time you guys go through it, um, but yeah, maybe I'll consider it. Might be a bit much depending on for others. But yeah. All right, guys. Well, I think I'm gonna stop it here. Yeah, I think this is a good stopping point for our boy. Literally ending with a sword that's mostly done, boots that are mostly done, rock mostly done. So we got mostly done artwork today, but we definitely have whatever destiny's dictating from the dice on what we should draw today for our live stream. But yeah, guys, appreciate you guys being here. You guys have been wonderful. Um, but yeah, again, I'm the drawing DM, and I'll see you guys hopefully tomorrow, same time, same place. I just got to see where I'm up to. Yeah, the boot that is mostly done is 100% right. Oh man, awesome, awesome, awesome. Until next time, keep creating your own legends. Bye guys. See you tomorrow. Take care.